My wife went to the club with tears in her eyes, ignoring my wishes, even though she was on her knees at my door at dawn. Be me, 35-year-old Marcus, living in Seattle, working as a senior financial consultant, making serious money, have everything I thought I wanted in life. Beautiful house in Queen Anne neighborhood, expensive car in the driveway, married to Emma, who I thought was the love of my life. Don't know why it happened that Wednesday night. Maybe it was fate screwing with me. Maybe the universe had a sick sense of humor. But everything hit me like a runaway train that evening. Emma was never the subtle type, always said what was on her mind. But I never expected her to go completely insane like she did. Was supposed to be a quiet Wednesday night, had simple plans mapped out. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. Just going to watch this new space exploration documentary on Netflix. Order some Thai food from our favorite place downtown. Just the two of us like we used to do. Right before we were about to settle in for the evening, she comes downstairs looking completely different. Wearing this tight black dress that screams, "Night out?" Looking like she's about to walk some high-end fashion runway. Not like someone planning to relax on the couch with takeout. I just stare at her, completely confused. "Where are you going?" I ask, half joking. Still thinking maybe she's just messing with me. Maybe it's some kind of game. She grabs her expensive designer purse without hesitation. Doesn't even look at me properly. Just answers casually, "Out with the girls." I know for a fact she hadn't made any plans earlier. She literally spent the entire day complaining. Talking about how exhausted she was from her big presentation at work. How she just wanted to crash and relax. But now here she is, all dressed up in heels. Fresh makeup perfectly done. Hair styled like she's going to a photo shoot. Had to have taken at least an hour to get ready. You don't put in that kind of effort when you're supposedly dead tired. Something definitely isn't adding up. "Out?" I repeat, trying to keep my voice casual. Trying not to let the confusion and suspicion show. "You didn't mention anything about going out earlier." She rolls her eyes at me like I'm some annoying kid. Like I'm being completely unreasonable. "I don't have to tell you everything, do I? Just going to Nebula for a few drinks?" "It's not a big deal." My stomach tightens as I watch her. Emma and I had been having some rough patches lately. Nothing major, at least that's what I thought. Small arguments about work stress. Me spending too much time at the gym, according to her. Her phone constantly buzzing with notifications. But something about the way she said it now. So dismissive. So completely uninterested in what I thought. Felt like a punch straight to my gut. I wasn't about to just let this slide. "Which club exactly? Who are you going with?" Try to keep my tone neutral. Can feel the tension in the air getting thicker. She turns to me with this exaggerated sigh. Like I'm the one causing problems here. "Why are you so obsessed with knowing everything?" "I'm just meeting some friends, relax." That's when it hits me like ice water in my veins. A sudden cold realization. She's lying, and she's not even trying to hide it well. The casual way she says it. The fake nonchalance in her voice. It's like she doesn't even care if I believe her or not. "I'm asking because this is weird, Emma." My voice getting tighter with each word. "You don't go from being dead tired to, I need a night out in 5 minutes. Who are these friends? Why are you dressed like this?" Her expression changes, but not how I expected. No defensiveness. No explanation. Instead, she smirks. That smug, irritating look. The one that says, "I don't owe you anything? Not that it's any of your business." Her voice dripping with sarcasm. "But I need a break from all this." Waves her hand in the air dramatically, gesturing at everything around us. "From you, if we're being honest." Stand there speechless for a moment. That was a direct hit, aimed right where it would hurt most. I'm mad. No, beyond mad, furious. But what gets me even more is how she said it. Like I'm just some annoying obstacle in her way, not her husband of 6 years. "So this is how it's going to be?" Try to keep my cool. Can feel my heart racing in my chest. "You just decide you need a break. Throw on a dress and ditch me for the night?" She crosses her arms, standing there like she's already won some twisted argument in her head. "You can't stop me, I'm going." Her voice has this sharp edge to it, like she's daring me to do something about it. Step closer to her. Try to look her in the eyes, searching for some trace of the woman I thought I knew. "Emma," I say slowly. "Choose my words carefully. If you walk out that door right now, don't expect me to be here waiting when you get back." And just like that, she breaks. But not in the way you'd expect. Doesn't apologize. Doesn't back down. No, she does something worse. She laughs. "You think I care about that? You think I don't know what's really going on here? You're scared. Scared I'm living my life and you're stuck in yours." That was it. I couldn't take it anymore. "What the hell are you talking about?" But she isn't listening. She grabs her keys, tears starting to well up in her eyes, probably more from frustration than anything real. She shoves past me, her heels clicking on the hardwood floor, with one last spiteful look. Says, I'm going out whether you like it or not. And just like that, she's gone. Door slams shut behind her, leaving me standing there, confused and furious. Stand in the hallway for what feels like forever. Try to process what just happened. What the hell was that? Was this just some dramatic outburst? Or was there something more? The moment that door slammed, the whole house fell silent, like all the air had been sucked out. My mind is racing 1,000,000 miles an hour. Something inside tells me I can't let it end like this. Grab my phone from my pocket, start pacing back and forth in the hallway, try to figure out what to do next. It wasn't just that she left. It was the way she did it. The coldness, the smirk, the complete disregard for everything we'd built together. Something was wrong. Can't shake the feeling that this isn't about some night out with friends. This is bigger, darker. Open her social media. Start scrolling through old photos, looking for clues, something I might have missed. Every smiling picture, every caption about love and life feels like a cruel joke now. Then it hits me. She had this friend Rachel. They used to be really close, but recently Emma stopped talking about her. Haven't seen them hang out in months. Text Rachel on a whim. Hey, is Emma with you tonight? Response comes faster than expected. No, haven't seen her in weeks. Why? That's my first gut punch of the night. She's not with her old friends. So where the hell is she? Don't even respond to Rachel. Already moving, heart pounding in my chest, trying to make sense of it all. The club she mentioned. A club, right? Doesn't take long to put the pieces together. There's this one place, Nebula. She'd gone there a few times with her coworkers. Kind of place she would normally hate. Too loud, too crowded, too pretentious. But for some reason, she'd been mentioning it more and more lately. Something was pulling her there. Have a feeling it wasn't the music. Grab my keys, head spinning with anger, confusion. 1,000 questions I don't have answers to. As I drive through Seattle's rain-slicked streets, keep replaying the moment she left. Try to figure out where it all went wrong. Was it something I did? Was I too blind to see the signs? By the time I reach Nebula, I'm not thinking straight anymore. Park on the side street, hands gripping the steering wheel so tight, my knuckles turn white. Inside the club is exactly what I imagined. Pulsing lights, people packed together like sardines, music so loud you can barely think, push through the crowd, scan every face, heart hammering against my ribs, and then I see her. She's at the bar, leaning in close, way too close to some guy, tall, muscular type. Has that kind of look that makes you want to punch him, just for existing. They're laughing together. Can't hear what they're saying over the music. Doesn't matter. Her hand is on his arm. Feel that same sick feeling crawl up my spine. This isn't just some night out. Don't even stop to think. Storm over to them. Rage burning through every step. When I'm just a few feet away, she finally notices me. Her face goes pale for a split second, like she's been caught red-handed. But then just as quickly, she recovers. Flashes me this smug smile, like I'm the one who's out of place. What are you doing here? She says. Voice dripping with sarcasm, as if this is the most normal thing in the world. I should be asking you that, I snap back. Barely keeping my voice under control. The guy next to her looks between us, clearly sensing the tension, but not moving an inch, like he's enjoying this. She takes a sip of her drink, completely unfazed. I told you I'm out. You're acting crazy. Feel my hands clenching into fists. Who is he, Emma? Her smirk grows wider. She turns to the guy, not even bothering to hide it anymore. Oh, him? Just someone I met. Nothing serious. That was it. That was the moment everything inside me broke. The lies, the dismissiveness, the audacity to do this right in front of me. It all hits at once. Nothing serious? I repeat, my voice shaking. You're really going to stand there and say that? After everything? She laughs. Actually laughs, like I'm some fool standing in front of her. Don't be so dramatic. You're blowing this way out of proportion. Can't believe what I'm hearing. She's treating me like I'm nothing, like our entire life together meant nothing. The guy's still standing there, with that stupid grin, doesn't say a word, just watches it all unfold, like it's some show for his entertainment. Take a step closer to them. Lock eyes with Emma. I'm not leaving here until you tell me the truth. What's going on? For the first time, I see her falter, just for a second. Her confident exterior cracks. She glances away, avoiding my gaze. But then just as quickly, she snaps back to her usual self. Her voice turns icy. You really want to know? She hisses. Fine. I'm tired of you. Of us. Of playing this happy couple crap. I want more than what you can give me. The words hit harder than any punch could have. There it was. The truth. Raw and unapologetic. She doesn't care. Not about me. Not about what we had. She's done. And she doesn't even have the decency to pretend otherwise. Stand there stunned as she picks up her drink, turns back to the guy. like I don't even exist. For a moment, I'm frozen, the noise of the club fading into the background. I'm tired of us. I want more. Her words keep echoing in my head, over and over. Can't process it. How could she just throw everything away like that? How did we go from movie nights and inside jokes to her standing here, bold as ever with some stranger, acting like I don't exist? But as much as the shock hits me, it's the anger that takes over next. My vision goes red. I'm not just hurt anymore. I'm furious. You want more? I growl. Step closer to her and the guy, who's still standing there with that smug expression, like he has front row tickets to the most entertaining drama of the night. What the hell does that even mean, Emma? More what? More lies? More nights sneaking around behind my back? More of this? Gesture wildly between her and him, my voice rising above the pounding music. Is this what you think more is? She rolls her eyes, like she's bored of the whole conversation. You really don't get it, do you? You've been stuck in your little world for months now. Focused on work, the gym, whatever it is you do, and you expect me to just sit at home, waiting for you to pay attention to me? Newsflash, I'm not some puppy you can ignore whenever you feel like it. Ignore you? I snap, my voice cracking with disbelief. Ignore you? I've done everything to make you happy. I've bent over backwards trying to keep this marriage together. And this is how you repay me? By running off with some random guy at a club? At that point, the guy, Mr. Smug, finally decides to speak. Hey man, he says. Voice smooth and condescending, like he's enjoying playing the villain. Maybe you two should take this outside, huh? It's not really anyone else's business. Shot him a look that could burn through steel. You should shut your mouth. Before I decide to make it my business, step closer to him. The guy straightens up, probably thinking I won't actually do anything. But I'm not thinking straight anymore, ready to tear him apart. Emma senses the tension, moves between us, places a hand on my chest to hold me back. Stop it, she hisses, her eyes flashing with annoyance, not concern. You're embarrassing yourself. I'm embarrassing myself? Can't believe the nerve of her. You're the one sneaking around behind my back. And I'm the one embarrassing myself? She drops her hand, crosses her arms, her whole demeanor cold and dismissive. This isn't about him. This is about us. Or rather about you. She leans in closer, lowers her voice so only I can hear, but the venom in her words is unmistakable. You've been so busy playing the perfect husband, trying to control everything, that you didn't even notice when I stopped caring. I'm done, okay? I'm done pretending this is something it's not. I need more than this life. More than you. Her words slice through me like a knife. There's no apology in her eyes, no regret, not even a flicker of guilt, just cold indifference. But then she says something that pushes me over the edge. You think I'm cheating on you? She scoffs. Eyes narrowed. Please, I haven't even started. She throws a glance at the guy. In that moment, I see everything. The nights out, the secrecy, the lies. It all makes sense now. It isn't even about him specifically. It's about her thrill, her game. Started? I bark. Fists clenched so tight, my nails dig into my palms. You're telling me this isn't even the worst part? What the hell have you been doing behind my back, Emma? Because it sure looks like you've been enjoying your little escapes more than I ever realized. She doesn't flinch, doesn't even blink. I'm saying I'm done explaining myself to you. I'm going to live how I want. Whether you like it or not, before I can respond, before I can process just how far she's willing to push this, she says the line that will haunt me for the rest of the night. If you can't handle that, maybe you should leave. I'm not running back to you anymore. That was it. That was her final shot. All those late nights, all the excuses, all the lies she'd spun. Now she was making it clear. She didn't care if I was there or not. In fact, she was telling me to leave. Look around the club. Feel the heat of everyone's eyes on us. We've become the show. People pretending to mind their own business, but stealing glances at this ugly scene. And here I am in the middle of it. My wife standing next to another guy, telling me she's done. Take a step back. Need to breathe. Need space. Everything inside me screams to fight, to demand answers, to make her admit to everything. But looking at her, seeing the way she looks past me, like I'm just another obstacle in her night out, I realize something. She isn't going to admit anything. She isn't going to apologize. She isn't going to make this right. There's no fight left here. Without saying another word, turn and walk away. Every step feels like I'm ripping a part of myself out, leaving it behind in that room. But staying would have destroyed what little dignity I had left. Make it to my car, hands shaking, vision blurred with rage and confusion. What the hell just happened? The truth hits me like a freight train as I sit behind the wheel. She didn't just leave the marriage tonight, she torched it, threw gasoline on everything we had, and lit the match herself. And I'm the one standing in the ashes, sit in the car, gripping the steering wheel, try to catch my breath. My hands are shaking uncontrollably, chest feels tight, like I'm suffocating. Everything that just happened, the lies, the arrogance, her cold indifference, it all swirls in my head like a hurricane. Can't make sense of it. How did we get here? How did she go from being the woman I loved to someone who could stand there in front of everyone and tell me she didn't care anymore? My phone buzzes in my pocket. For a moment, I think it might be her. Maybe to explain, to apologize, to do something human. But it isn't. It's a text from Jake, my best friend. Hey man, where'd you go? You good? Jake has no idea what just happened. No idea that the entire foundation of my life just crumbled in the span of a few hours. Ignore the message. Toss the phone onto the passenger seat. How could I explain this? How could I tell anyone that the woman I'd built my life around had just blown it to pieces without even blinking? Sit there staring at the windshield, barely able to process what happened. The world outside feels distant, like I'm watching everything from behind thick glass. People pass by, laughing, drunk couples stumbling out of the club. And here I am, feeling like I'm about to collapse under the weight of it all. Then, as if the universe hadn't kicked me hard enough, another thought creeps in. What if this wasn't the first time? The nights she came home late, the times she said she was working overtime, or just out with the girls. Were those lies too? How long had she been pulling this stunt? Behind my back? Months? A year? The thought makes my stomach turn. I need answers. Not that she'd willingly give them, but I'm not going to let this go. No way I'd sit in the dark. Left to guess how long she'd been stringing me along. I'm not about to let her control the narrative. Not anymore. My phone buzzes again. This time it isn't Jake. It's her, Emma. You really stormed out of there like a kid throwing a tantrum. Hope you got it all out of your system. That message hits harder than anything she'd said in the club. It isn't just cruel. It's like she's mocking me, treating me like some naive idiot who couldn't handle the truth. And what hurts the most isn't even the content of the message. It's the casualness. Like this is just some small argument, not the total breakdown of our marriage. She doesn't care. My blood boils. Want to fire back? To scream at her? To tell her she's the one who threw everything away? But deep down I know. That's what she wants. A reaction. Something she can turn around. Used to make me the villain in this story. Instead, I do something different. Dial her number. It rings once. Twice. 3 times. Just as I'm about to hang up. She answers. Wow, finally decided to grow up, she says. Voice dripping with sarcasm. Emma, I say. Try to keep my voice steady. I don't care what games you're playing tonight, but you're going to tell me the truth. How long has this been going on? She sighs, like I'm some inconvenience. Oh, this again. I told you it's not what you think. But if you need a number to sleep at night, fine. A few months, okay? Happy now? Her nonchalance is staggering. She's admitting to months of lies, of sneaking around. And she says it like she's telling me she forgot to pick up milk from the store. Months. That's how long she'd been betraying me, playing the role of loving wife by day, sneaking off with whoever she pleased at night. My vision blurs with anger. How could you do this? I ask. Voice trembling with disbelief. How could you look me in the eye every day, knowing what you were doing? How could you just throw everything away? Like it meant nothing? Her response, a laugh? Not a nervous laugh, not a guilty laugh, a full-on, cold, heartless laugh. Throw it away? She asks. Her tone sharp as a knife. This was nothing. Our marriage? It's been nothing for a long time. And you were too busy playing the good husband to even notice. So don't come at me like you're some victim. You're just mad because I'm not playing your little perfect wife role anymore. Every word hits like a hammer. She doesn't even see it as betrayal. She sees it as liberation. From me, from the life we had, from everything I thought we stood for. Want to scream at her? Call her every name in the book. Destroy her like she's destroying me. But I can't. She isn't worth it. Not anymore. Instead, I hang up, toss my phone across the car. It lands with a dull thud against the door. My hands are still shaking. But now, the anger burns hotter than ever. Not just at her, but at myself. For not seeing this sooner. For letting her walk all over me for so long. For giving her the power to tear my world apart. Sit there in the car, staring at the empty street in front of me. My mind spiraling. What now? Divorce? Is that where this is headed? Can I even go back home? Knowing she'd probably be there, waiting with that smug look on her face, daring me to react, But as much as I want to walk away, to burn the bridge and never look back, there's a part of me, some stupid, desperate part, that needs more. Needs to know why. Not her excuses, not her deflections, but the real, ugly truth. Start the car and drive. Not home, not anywhere in particular. Just drive. Don't know what I'm searching for, but I know I won't find it. Sitting in a dark parking lot, stewing in my own anger. The fallout has just begun, and I have a feeling this is only the start of the chaos. Drive for what feels like hours. Time has lost all meaning. Every streetlight that passes blurs into the next, my thoughts spinning like tires on ice, slipping and going nowhere. Can't go home? The idea of walking back into that house, with her potentially waiting there, as if nothing had happened. Can't stomach it. Not yet. Not after everything I just heard. The phone sits in the passenger seat, glaring at me like some vengeful spirit. Part of me wants to chuck it out the window, as if somehow that would erase everything. But I know there's no escaping this. No matter how far I drive, no matter how hard I try to outrun the situation, it's there, waiting for me to face it eventually. End up at an empty parking lot by Lake Union, a place I used to go when I needed to think. Kill the engine, sit in the stillness, watch the moonlight shimmer across the water. It's eerie how calm everything is outside, while my entire world is in chaos. That's when my phone lights up again. Hesitate before looking at the screen, half expecting another condescending message from her. But it isn't Emma this time. Jake, bro, you've been gone for hours. Are you okay? Call me. Stare at the message for a long time. Feel a mix of emotions. Jake's been my best friend for years. He's always been there for me. He knows something's wrong, but he has no clue just how deep the wound runs. Debate telling him. But what am I supposed to say? Hey man, turns out my wife's been cheating on me for months. And I just found out in the middle of a nightclub. While she laughed in my face about it, I'm not ready for that conversation. Lean back in my seat. Let the memories play on repeat. Months. That's how long she'd been sneaking around, treating me like some blind fool, while she did whatever she wanted. And what's worse, she didn't even try to hide it tonight. No remorse, no shame, just smug indifference. Think back to all the times I trusted her without question. The late-night work meetings, the spontaneous nights out, the way she suddenly became so protective of her phone. Used to think I was paranoid. Hell, I blame myself at times, thinking maybe I wasn't being supportive enough. Maybe I was overthinking it. Turns out I wasn't thinking enough. The memory of tonight at Nebula, her with that guy, her taunting smirk, the way she spoke to me like I was beneath her. It won't leave me alone. She hasn't just cheated on me, she destroyed me. And the worst part? She doesn't seem to care. Keep replaying the phone call over and over in my head, hearing her voice echo with those words. This has been nothing for a long time. It wasn't the cheating that hurt the most. It was realizing that she had checked out of our marriage a long time ago, and I was the last to know. I'd been living in a lie, trying to fix something that was already broken. Without even knowing it, my chest tightens. Feel a wave of nausea hit. Open the car door, stumble out. Take deep breaths of the cold night air. It feels like everything is crashing down on me all at once. The betrayal, the lies, the fact that I'm standing alone, picking up the pieces of a life I don't recognize anymore. Walk to the edge of the lake, stare out at the water. Try to steady myself. What now? What the hell am I supposed to do? Divorce seems inevitable, but the thought of going through that, of tearing apart our entire lives, splitting assets, dealing with lawyers, having to explain it all to friends and family. It's suffocating. But what's the alternative? Stay with her? Pretend like this is some rough patch we could work through? I could never look at her the same way again. Every time I close my eyes, I see her with that guy, laughing, completely unfazed by the destruction she's causing. There's no coming back from that. There's no fixing this. My phone buzzes again. This time I know I have to answer. Pull it out! Sure enough, it's Jake calling. Let it ring for a second, before swiping to answer. Hey, I say. My voice rough, trying to keep it together. Dude, what's going on? You've been MIA for hours. Are you okay? Jake's voice is filled with concern, the kind only a best friend could have. I hesitate, the weight of the truth pressing down on me, but I can't hold it in anymore. It's either spill everything now, or risk losing my mind alone. Emma's been cheating on me, I say. The words feel foreign as they leave my mouth. Saying it out loud makes it real, in a way I wasn't ready for months. And I found out tonight, at the club, with the guy. The silence on the other end of the line is deafening. Jake doesn't say anything for a long moment, probably trying to process what I just told him. Then quietly, Jesus, man. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I mutter. Staring at the dark water. Me neither. Where are you right now? Jake asks. You want me to come get you? We can figure this out, man. I'm by Lake Union, I say. Just needed some air. Jake's voice softens. Listen, whatever you need, I'm here. We'll figure it out. She's not worth it, man. You don't deserve this. I know he means well, but the truth is, nothing anyone says can change the fact that my life just imploded. We'll figure it out, I ask. How? How do you figure something like this out? I'll be fine, I lie. I just need time to think. Take all the time you need, Jake says. Though I can tell he doesn't want to hang up. But don't do this alone, okay? Call me if you need anything. I mean it. We hang up. I stand there in the quiet, staring at the rippling water under the moonlight. The sound of the lake is almost hypnotic, calming in a way I hadn't expected. But even in that peace, my mind won't stop. Images of Emma, her smile, her laugh, her betrayal, keep flashing through my head. I'd given her everything, my trust, my loyalty, my heart, and in return, she'd given me nothing but lies, months of them. The cold realization settles in. There's no going back. Not this time. This is the end. Stand by the lake for what feels like hours. The cold night air biting at my skin. But I barely notice. My mind is racing, heart pounding in a relentless rhythm that won't let up. Every decision I've ever made about my life, about our life, feels like a joke now. The trust, the loyalty, the love I thought we had, all of it unraveling in front of me, like some twisted movie. And I can't hit pause. Keep running my hand through my hair, pacing back and forth, every fiber of my being torn between anger and despair. How could she do this? How could she look me in the eye every day, knowing what she was doing behind my back? Start to picture it. Their texts, their meetings, all those little moments, where she'd chosen him over me. It isn't just the act itself. It's the layers of deceit, the planning, the lying, the disrespect. Every time she kissed me goodnight, or said I love you, it was all part of the same web of lies. I don't know who she is anymore. Maybe I never did. That thought hits harder than anything else. Maybe this was who she really was all along. Cold, selfish, capable of betrayal without a second thought. It's like I'd spent years loving a ghost, someone who never truly existed. The Emma I knew wasn't real. And the truth is, that breaks me. Walk back to the car. Get in. Slam the door behind me. The silence of the interior is almost suffocating. But I need to make a decision. Can't stay frozen in this moment forever. No matter how much it hurts, this is my life, and it's falling apart in real time. If I don't act now, I'll lose whatever shred of control I have left. I have to do something. Sitting there in the driver's seat, staring at the empty street ahead, I make the call. I'm not going to confront her again. I'm not going to give her the satisfaction of seeing me suffer, of letting her twist the knife any further. I'm done being a part of whatever sick game she's playing. Take a deep breath. Dial my lawyer. It isn't some spur-of-the-moment decision. Deep down, I know. This is the only way out. Divorce. The word feels heavy. Final, but also right. There's no coming back from this, and trying to salvage it would only make things worse. She had already made her choice. Now it's time for me to make mine. The phone rings a few times. Before my lawyer, Michael, answers. Groggy. I'd forgotten it was late. But I don't care. My world has been torn apart, and I need action. Michael, it's me, I say. Try to keep my voice steady. I need to talk to you about divorce. Tonight? There's a pause on the other end, like he's trying to gauge if I'm serious. Okay, Michael says. Let's meet tomorrow morning. You sure you want to do this right now? Yeah, I'm sure, I say, more confidently than I feel. I've never been more sure. All right, Michael says, sounding more awake now. We'll get started first thing tomorrow. I'll walk you through everything. I'm sorry, man. Hang up. Feeling a strange mix of relief and sadness. Divorce is just a word, but now it's real. It's my reality, my marriage. This thing I thought was unbreakable is officially over, and there's no going back. Sit there for a while, gripping the steering wheel, letting that decision sink in. The anger still burns in my chest, but beneath it, there's a deep, crushing sadness. I didn't want it to end like this. No one gets married thinking they'll end up here. But this isn't about what I want anymore. This is about survival, about pulling myself out of the wreckage before it destroys me completely. After a while, I drive home. The street's nearly empty, bathed in the pale glow of streetlights. The drive feels surreal, like I'm floating through a nightmare. I can't wake up from when I pull into the driveway. The house feels alien, like it isn't mine anymore. She's probably inside, maybe asleep, or worse, waiting for me with some twisted justification for her actions. I'm not ready for that conversation. Not yet. Walk in quietly. Make sure not to disturb anything. The house is dark. For a moment, think maybe she's gone back to the club. But then I see her. She's sitting at the kitchen table, glass of wine in her hand, phone on the table next to her. She doesn't even look surprised to see me, just stares at me with that same smug expression, like she's been waiting for me to crumble. Back so soon? She says, voice dripping with mock concern. I figured you'd be out all night sulking. Don't respond. Can't. The hatred I feel for her in that moment is overwhelming. I can see she wants to start something, to get under my skin, but I'm not going to give her that satisfaction. Instead, just look at her dead in the eyes. Say the only thing I have left to say. I talked to a lawyer. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. For the first time that night, I see something shift in her expression. It isn't fear, not exactly, but there's a flicker of something. Surprise maybe. Whatever it is, it's gone just as quickly as it appeared. She takes a slow sip of her wine, her eyes never leaving mine. Finally grew a spine, huh? She says. A cold smile creeping across her face. Well, I guess it's about time. Don't reply. There's no point. This isn't about her anymore. This is about me taking back control of my life, of my future. Turn and walk upstairs, not bothering to look back. She isn't worth it. Not anymore. When I reach the bedroom, grab a suitcase. Start packing. I'm not going to sleep in the same house as her. Not tonight. Not ever again. The weight of everything is still there, pressing down on me. But at least now I have a way forward. As I zip up the suitcase, hear her footsteps coming up the stairs. She stops at the doorway, leans against the frame, watching me. Running away already? She says, her voice taunting. How predictable. Don't stop packing. You'll hear from my lawyer tomorrow, I say. Keep my back to her. We're done, Emma. She stands there for a moment, as if considering some final jab, some last cruel remark to twist the knife. But then she just shrugs, turns away, heads back downstairs. When I finally walk out of that house, suitcase in hand, I don't look back. Drive to a hotel, my mind still swirling, with everything that had happened, but with one thought cutting through the noise. I'm free. The hotel room feels like a liminal space, somewhere between the wreckage of my old life and whatever lies ahead. The quiet hum of the air conditioner is the only sound as I stand by the window, staring out at the dark parking lot. My suitcase lies open on the bed behind me, a stark reminder that this is real. I had left. I had made the choice. The decision was final. But despite the small sense of relief, I also feel untethered. I'm free, but from what? Drop into the chair by the window, let my head fall into my hands. Free from Emma, sure. But free for what? For the first time in years, I don't have a plan. There's no one to talk things through with. No future I've mapped out. Everything had been tied to her. The house, the life we built, the future we were supposed to have. Now all of it is slipping away, like sand through my fingers. My phone buzzes again, pulling me back to reality. Another message from Jake. Call me, man. I don't care how late it is. Just call. Stare at the screen, debating. No, I should talk to him, but I'm not sure if I'm ready. How do you even begin to explain something like this? How do you say, hey, turns out my wife has been screwing around behind my back for months, and now everything I thought I knew is a lie? But Jake is my best friend. If anyone can help me sort through the mess in my head, it's him. Dial his number. Put the phone to my ear. Feel a strange sense of dread as it rings. He picks up on the second ring, his voice filled with concern. Finally! What's going on, man? You just disappeared. I left her, I say, my voice sounding hollow even to myself. I'm at a hotel? Jake lets out a low whistle. Damn, so it's really over, huh? Yeah, I mutter. It's over. She's been cheating. Jake, for months. Maybe longer. I found out tonight. Stop. My throat tightening. Saying it out loud doesn't make it easier. There's a long pause on the other end of the line. Can hear Jake trying to process what I just said. Jesus, man. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I say. Feel the weight of it all hit me again. Me neither. Not until tonight. How'd you find out? Jake asks, his voice careful, like he doesn't want to pry too much, but needs to understand. Close my eyes, remembering the club, the laughter, her cold, mocking smile. I followed her to Nebula. She said she was going out with friends, but she wasn't. She was with some guy, and she didn't even try to hide it. She didn't care. It was like she wanted me to see. Jake curses under his breath. That's messed up, man. I don't even know what to say. Are you okay? I mean, are you holding up? Let out a bitter laugh. Honestly, I don't know. I spent the last few hours just trying to wrap my head around it. I don't think it's even hit me fully yet. You need anything? Jake asks. I can come over. We can talk in person. You shouldn't be alone right now. Maybe tomorrow, I say. Though part of me doesn't want to face anyone yet. I need to process this. Everything's happening so fast. One minute I'm thinking we're just having another fight, and the next I'm filing for divorce. Jake is quiet for a moment, then says, I get it. But listen, you made the right call. I know it feels like the ground just got ripped out from under you, but it'll get better. You don't deserve to be treated like that. She didn't respect you, man. She doesn't deserve you. I nod even though he can't see me. He's right, but the words feel empty. It doesn't matter if I'm better off without her. Right now, all I can feel is the loss. You're right, I say. Though it doesn't feel like it. I just wish it didn't have to be like this. I know, man, I know. Jake's voice softens. Look, take it one step at a time. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. Just breathe. We'll figure this out together. We talk for a little while longer, before I finally hang up. Talking to Jake helped, but it doesn't change the gnawing emptiness inside. Sit there in the dark for a long time, staring out the window, wondering how everything had spiraled so far out of control. How had I not seen this coming? How had I let things get so bad without realizing it? But no amount of replaying the past will change anything. The truth is, it doesn't matter how we got here. What matters is that Emma made her choice, and now I have to live with mine. Stand up, walk over to the suitcase, unzip it. Haven't packed much. Just a few clothes, my laptop, some essentials. Feels weird being in a hotel like this, with no plan for tomorrow, no real idea of what my life is going to look like now. And then, as I'm pulling out my phone charger, notice something in the front pocket of my suitcase. My wedding ring. Hadn't even realized I'd taken it off. Hold it in my hand. Feel its weight. Remember the day I'd slipped it on her finger. The vows we'd made. The promises we thought we'd keep forever. How stupid that seems now. Stare at it for a long time. A wave of emotion building in my chest. It's just a piece of metal, but it represents everything I've lost tonight. Everything I thought was real. And now it's just a reminder of a life that no longer exists. Without thinking, walk back to the window, open it. The cold night air rushes in, biting at my skin. But I don't care. Look down at the ring one last time, my heart heavy. Then, with a sudden burst of anger, fling it into the darkness. It disappears into the night, swallowed by the void. Just like my marriage. Slam the window shut, collapse onto the bed, stare at the ceiling. The weight of everything finally sinking in. This is it. There's no going back. The weight of the bed feels heavier than it should. The cheap hotel sheets scratch at my skin, but I barely notice. My mind is far from the room, somewhere between the past and the dark void of the future. Keep replaying that last moment, flinging my wedding ring out into the night, into nothingness. It felt like the final severing of a bond that had already been frayed beyond repair. Roll over and stare at the clock. 3:42 a.m. Sleep isn't coming tonight. My body is exhausted, but my mind won't stop running. Every time I close my eyes, I see her face, Emma. Her cold, unbothered expression at the club. The way she laughed in my face. The way she laughed at the end of us. Try to force myself to think of something else. Anything else. But every thought leads back to her. I hate her for what she did. But what's worse is that she doesn't seem to care. No apologies. No remorse. It's as if all those years meant nothing. The vacations. The lazy Sundays. The whispered, I love yous in the dark. Nothing. Sit up. Swing my legs over the side of the bed. The quiet hum of the hotel room feels suffocating now. I need air. Need to move. Need to feel like I'm still alive. And not just trapped in this emotional purgatory. Grab my jacket. Leave the room. Head outside. The cold air hits me like a slap to the face. But it's better than feeling numb. The parking lot is empty, save for a few cars scattered under dim streetlights. Everything is still except for me. Start walking. Don't know where I'm going. But I don't care. Just need to move. Need to outrun the thoughts chasing me. As I walk, my mind keeps racing through every memory of our marriage, searching for answers. Was this always going to happen? Were there signs in the beginning I should have seen? Was there some point where I could have stopped it? Fixed it? Changed the course of everything? But those thoughts are useless. It doesn't matter now. I can't undo what she's done. I can't change the fact that she betrayed me in the worst possible way, and I can't change the fact that, in some twisted part of me, I still love her. Or at least, love the version of her I thought was real. My phone buzzes in my pocket. For a moment I debate ignoring it, but curiosity gets the better of me. Pull it out. See a message from Rachel, one of Emma's old friends, the one I texted earlier in the night, when I was still in denial, still trying to make sense of everything. Rachel. Hey, I don't know if I should say this, but I thought you should know. I heard some stuff about Emma a while back, but I didn't think it was my place to get involved. I'm sorry. I had no idea it was this bad. Stop walking. Stare at the screen. My heart races. Rachel knew something. She knew something and didn't tell me. Type back quickly, my fingers shaking from the cold. Or maybe from anger. Me. What did you know? How long have you known? The reply comes almost instantly. Rachel. I didn't know for sure. There were rumors at work. People saw her with someone at lunch a lot. Some guy. They thought it was just flirting at first. But then it got more obvious. I didn't know if I should say anything. I didn't want to accuse her of something if it wasn't true. Lunches. So this wasn't just nights out. She had been doing this during the day too, under the guise of work. Feel sick? Keep walking. My mind reeling. Type out a response without thinking. Me. Why didn't you tell me? Another quick reply. Rachel. I don't know, man. I thought it wasn't my business. I'm sorry. I should have said something. I just didn't want to be the one to break it to you. If I wasn't sure. Stop. My breath hanging in the cold air. It isn't Rachel's fault. Not really. But knowing that people around us, people close to us, had seen the cracks and didn't say anything, makes the betrayal even worse. How many others knew? How many people were in on the secret, watching me live my life, completely oblivious? My stomach turns again. Feel a wave of nausea rise. Lean against a lamppost. Close my eyes. Try to get a grip. But nothing feels solid anymore. Not my marriage. Not my friends. Not even my own understanding of what the last few years had meant. Need to do something. Need to take control of this situation somehow. Filing for divorce was the first step, but it doesn't feel like enough. Need to confront Emma one last time. Not for her, but for me. Need to hear it from her mouth. Need her to admit everything. I need the truth, not the smug lies she'd fed me. Without thinking, turn and start walking back toward the hotel. My steps faster now, fueled by anger and adrenaline. My phone still in my hand. Before I can talk myself out of it, dial her number. It rings twice before she picks up. Really? She says. Her voice flat, tired. What now? Grit my teeth. I want the truth, Emma. There's a long pause, followed by a sigh. We've been over this already. No, we haven't, I snap. You haven't told me anything. I want to know everything. How long? Who? Why, everything. She's quiet for a moment. Then with an icy tone, she says, Fine. You want the truth? It's been going on for a while. I don't even remember when it started. I don't keep track. It was just something else. Something you weren't. My heart pounds in my chest. Something I wasn't? What the hell does that mean? It means, she says, her voice cutting, that I wanted more. More fun. More excitement. You got boring. The life we had, it wasn't enough for me. Stand there stunned, my mind racing. Boring? She was willing to throw everything away. Because she was bored? You could have talked to me, I say. My voice breaking. You could have told me you weren't happy. And what would that have changed? She snaps. You don't get it, do you? I was already gone. I didn't want to fix it. I wanted out. And this, she pauses, her voice softening with mock pity. This was just the easiest way to get there. Her words hit me like a freight train. She never intended to fix us. She didn't want me, didn't want our life together. She had already decided that, long before I knew anything was wrong. For a long time, neither of us says anything. The silence hangs heavy in the air between us. A silence that says everything. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow, I finally say. My voice hollow. You'll get the papers soon. Good, she says without hesitation. That's what I wanted. And with that, she hangs up. The line goes dead, and I stand there in the empty parking lot, phone still pressed to my ear, feeling like I had just been punched in the gut, all over again. This is really it. There are no more lies left to uncover. No more false hopes of reconciliation. The truth is, out ugly and raw, and now all that's left is to pick up the shattered pieces of what used to be my life.